Hello, YouTube world. It's your girl, Dana Monet, here again to recap another week of American Idol Season 15, the farewell season. Now, as I did mention last week, I started out combining American Idol and The Voice, but then I realized it's just too much to discuss. So we're going back to separate American Idol videos and then separate The Voice videos. So keep it centered on this topic. So the top five and a half, whatever you want to call it. The theme was fan requests, and they did this theme last year. I believe they always do a theme similar to this, but I will say that I'm kind of mad that Avalon couldn't stay for this particular week, because the song that she was going to do, or I guess one of the songs that she was going to do, was Here by Alessia Cara, and that is like so Avalon. Like I watched an interview of her and that she said that that's what she was going to sing. But yo, if y'all haven't checked out Avalon stuff, like she has some covers. She has this cover called Bad News on her YouTube page. I absolutely love it. I so think that she would have been somebody. I knew that she wasn't like the prototype to win American Idol, but she's definitely somebody who can be successful in this business. Like she needs to be on a record. Like she's ready to record. She's ready to go. So with that being said, let's get into the week. Now, I'm going to go from my favorite to least favorite contestant. But before I do that, I'm going to start off with the eliminated contestant of the week, Tristan. And unfortunately, she only got to sing one song because for whatever reason, American Idol cannot wait until the very end of the episode to do the elimination. Like they have to do it in the middle of the show. They did this at Top 5 week last season where they unceremoniously sent Tiana packing, but at least they let Tristan perform first before they sent her home and didn't show her farewell package before she went home. So whatever. But I definitely think that it was time for her to go. I mean, it was time for her to go like 3 weeks ago, but she sang Independence Day by Martina McBride. She was back at the piano. It was a nice performance. It wasn't as good as the other performance she had a couple of weeks ago when she was at the piano, but it was nice. I honestly did not think that they were going to let her go. Like, I really thought that they would save her. And I was actually surprised when they saved Sonica instead. But I do feel like it was the right decision. I do. And essentially, Tristan was the last of the teenagers to be on the show. So we're done with the teenagers. They had all of these 15-year-olds in, the top 10, and with the exception of Olivia Rocks, who was eliminated way too soon, none of them really rose to the occasion. None of them really proved that they were really good enough to win right now. So why even put them there? None of them, two of them I think shouldn't even have made it past the audition, and that's Gianna and Lee. And I think that Tristan, while I think that she did enough to make the top 24. I don't think she should have made it past the top 24. And that's how I feel about it. Definitely those 3 spots could have been for somebody else. But moving right along to my favorite of the week, LaPortia. She tore that thing up, singing Ready for Love by India Arie and No More Drama by Mary J. Blige. Now, you can say that she's gathering songs from the Joshua Lidette, songbook or whatever, but these were fan requests, and you do kind of have to go off of what's cleared for the show. I actually sent her a fan request. This probably wasn't even cleared, and she probably didn't even see this. I sent it to her on Twitter, but I wanted to see her perform As We Lay by Shirley Murdoch / Kelly Price, because, LaPortia's voice on that song would have been just epic. But I think that she did an amazing job with the songs that were there, even though they were sung on the show before. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like, she's a beast and she can slay any song. And she got J-Lo to cry. So that's always a plus. I really just love her. I don't really have anything bad to say at all, or any critiques. I'm like the judges. I'm just sitting there watching. Like, her voice was definitely back on point this week. She just knows how to deliver an amazing vocal. And this was the first time when she did No More Drama, was the first time that I really, really saw her emotional side. And that probably had to do with the package beforehand. But it was just so amazing. I don't think that it was like as vocally on point as she has been with all of her other performances. But as far as emotionally connecting and like vocally connecting, I mean, it was right there. I mean, she had me jump in and like, no more drama, however it go, whatever she was doing, I was like here for it. And I was like, yo, if I could have been able to witness a duet between LaPortia and Joshua Ledet on No More Drama, like that performance alone, I would have been saved. Like, it's just ridiculous. So whatever people have to say about if she wins or she's not marketable enough or this and that and the third, I absolutely believe that she is the most talented person. I feel like she was the most talented person in the top 10, maybe the top 24, depending on preference. So based on that, I definitely think that she should win. She does have competition. It's not, a definite, but I mean, I kind of don't see her not making the finale though, right? She has to make the finale. So, I mean, that's how I feel about LaPortia. I mean, there's nothing to say. She delivers, even when she's not at her best, she still delivers 150%. Like it's like she's a seasoned artist and she's been doing this all her life and doing shows. Like you go to a show and she'll talk to the audience and she'll be like, let me tell you something. And she'll be like, with her, like, I'm here for it. Like, I'm here for LaPortia. That's all there is to it. So let's just keep it moving. Now, my second is not really like my second favorite overall. It was really just my second of the night because it was really, really close. But my second favorite of the night was actually Mackenzie. And he sang Wild World, and I actually don't know who that's by, like I missed it. And then he also sang Billie Jean, and that's really the performance that I want to talk about. And I loved his Billie Jean. Like, and actually in the beginning, I really liked Mackenzie, like his audition. I liked his original song. I liked what he did with Can't Help Falling in Love and everything like that. And then he kind of fell off for a little bit for me after that. And I was just like, I'm like getting a little bit sick of Mackenzie. Like he's just getting boring. And then he does this Billie Jean. And I mean, I had to listen to it again because I was distracted when it first came on TV. But I was like, yo, this is the truth. And a lot of people were like, nobody can beat, David Cook's Billie Jean. I think that people need to like take a performance for what it is in that moment and at least try not, I'm guilty of it too, try not to compare it to past amazing performances. But I definitely think that Mackenzie did a damn good job with that song. And I just love the way, I had never heard his voice sound as great as it did. He did things with his voice that he's never done, that I didn't even think he was capable of doing. He pushed his vocals. He was on pitch the entire time. Like he like, that was the first time like I saw like performance where he had like some soul, and he had some grit. And I actually really liked the arrangement. I loved the liberties that he took with the melody. The best part though, like I said before, was the way he sang it, and he was very committed. And like J-Lo said, he was very confident in his vocal. And maybe that's what has been missing. Maybe he's just been so like overwhelmed with all of these big voices in the competition and his voice isn't as big, and he maybe felt intimidated. But he went out there like he'd been doing it his whole life, and he slayed Billie Jean. To me that was an A performance. Both of LaPortia's performances was an A+, so that's like, whatever. But I honestly feel like Mackenzie slayed Billie Jean. And there were some people who was hating on his performance, and I am not the biggest Mackenzie fan at all, but Billie Jean was it. Hands down. I was like, this is the Mackenzie that if you have to beat out LaPortia, that's the Mackenzie that I want to do it. The Mackenzie that sang Billie Jean. I'm not even mad about that. If that happens, not even mad. So A close third was Trent Harmon. And this is mostly for his second performance, because that first performance of Counting Stars was thinking about, like, that was so not Trent. And I know that it was fan requests and they had to choose and then they had to make sure a certain song was cleared, but there had to have been another song that a fan requested that was cleared by the show that would have worked a whole lot better for Trent. Like, I was like, oh no, Trent, like, no, not this. So then he came back and he did Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. I was like, yes, this is the Trent that I need to listen to. This is the Trent that I need to see. This is Trent. Like, you know, so, I mean, his vocal was just completely on point. And he was so into it. I just really loved his interpretation of the lyrics. I love it when he does, like, emotional songs that are, like, lyric, you know, driven. And they're, like, more intimate and not so, like, you know, extra, you know, bombastic. And, you know, I just really enjoyed it. His voice really soared on that song. And, you know, I hope that people forgot all about his first performance and just remembered his second performance, because if they do, then he's here another week. I'm not entirely worried about him staying. I mean, he's from the South. He's a good old country boy. Like, you know what I mean? And that demographic does really well on the show, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, there's also, you know, 2 other white guys with guitars in the competition. So we'll see how it goes. But J-Lo also cried after Trent's performance. J-Lo is starting to feel it because it's the end of American Idol, period. So she's starting to feel it a little bit. But yeah, I gave that second performance an A-. The first one doesn't matter because it wasn't good. I'm sorry, Trent, but loved Simple Man. Like, I love that. I love his vocal on that. I still want a Trent LaPortia finale, though. I do. As much as I like Mackenzie. LaPortia, Trent, and Mackenzie can be the top 3, though. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. So now moving on to Sonica, who received the judges' save for the second week in a row, which I and most people didn't actually think was gonna happen. You know, they didn't save Avalon twice. Like, I feel like they should have. Even though I knew that they were going to pick Sonica and vocally Sonica over Avalon, I guess, but feeling and emotionally and, you know, just knowing what you are as an artist, Avalon, I would have picked Avalon. And plus I like Avalon a little bit better. But Sonica's still there, perfectly fine. She sang Let It Go, the Demi Lovato version, and Clarity by Zedd. So first off, my first issue with Sonica. Again, I will preface this by saying, I know it was Idol fan requests, but the contestants, they still pick which song out of those, you know, that they would like to do. And I'm sure that there were other songs that, you know, were available and that were cleared that she didn't choose. And I was just like, really? She's going to sing Let It Go? But I will say this. She sang it better than anybody that I've ever heard sing that song on any of these reality singing competition shows. She actually did a damn good job of it. I thought that she did a lot better on Let It Go than she did on I Have Nothing. So I actually gave her Let It Go a B+. I love the wind machine, although I wish she didn't have on a skirt so tight so that the skirt could like kind of flow, but her hair was flowing. I mean, and she looked gorgeous, especially that outfit on that Clarity song, that black like leather cat suit. I was like, yes, get 'em, Sonica, with that thing around her head. I was like, yes, ma'am. I just wish that her performance matched the way that she looked. You know, she looks like a star. I just don't think that she performs like one or even sings like one. She still has doubt in her vocal ability, in my opinion, and she shouldn't. But a couple of weeks ago, or actually it might have just been last week, I told her what type of songs that she should sing. And Harry even hinted at it. Like, you know, Harry said that she's really good with those quiet, more intimate songs that could really show off her vocal tone and everything like that, like the stuff that she was doing in the beginning. And then she got into like these bombastic numbers and was doing Kelly Clarkson and Celine Dion and Whitney Houston. And then she did Let It Go. And to me, she doesn't thrive on those types of songs. And I kind of don't know what she's going to do this week because it's Sia week and they doing the Sia songbook. and Sia is mentoring, and Sia is that big kind of vocalist. But I think that she also does have some songs where she pulls back. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, like, if Sonica really went out there and pushed her vocals, then it would work. But I just think that she's very hesitant. I do think that in terms of performance and loosening up, I think that she was a lot better than she had been in the last 2 weeks. I mean, you know, that Evanescence performance, Bring Me to Life, was definitely still her high point on the show. So, I mean, I feel like she's getting eliminated this week. And plus, there are no more saves. But if she has any chance in hell of staying at all, and I think it's very slim, she would have to deliver a show-stopping performance that would get people to vote. And she only did that once. So I don't really know. And in the beginning, I was like really all for Sonica. Like I was really, I was with Harry. Like I was like, I think that this girl could potentially win. And, you know, she made it, she's making it pretty far. I mean, she's making it to the top 5. I'm talking like she's already going to be eliminated. But I don't know, like the how amazing LaPortia is, and there's 3 other white guys with guitars in the show, like, and she hasn't really, she's been performing at her B level. I don't see her being able to beat out who my least favorite of the week was, Dalton. And even though he was my least favorite, I still feel like he's going to beat out Sonica because he just has a bigger fan base. And he sang Numb by Linkin Park and Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. First off, I, you know, didn't know that, like, you know, he was like contemplating suicide. So that was kind of, you know, disturbing, but it was, you know, a story that, you know, needed to be told, and, you know, maybe people needed to connect with that. So that package going and then it going in the Sound of Silence, it actually, you know, really kind of worked. I will say for this, other than LaPortia, the second half of the show was better than the first half. I will say that I think that Sonica did better on Let It Go than Clarity, but as a whole, the second half was better. So Dalton's Sound of Silence was better than that Linkin Park song. He still has been having pitch issues. Like, this whole live show process, with the exception of the very first week, he has had pitch issue after pitch issue. And especially on the Simon and Garfunkel song, I love the backdrop. I love like the Ring of Fire. I love the setup. I love it at the end when he got down and sat on the stage Indian style and like just showed his vulnerability. I just feel like he's not giving me everything that he can. And vocally, he's not, and energy wise, it's just, he's coming up a little bit short. And I mean, I don't really know what's happening, because earlier on, I mean, he was so free and full, and, you know, he was connecting with the audience and he didn't have any inhibitions. It was like he was up on stage all the time, doing it all his life, and he was comfortable on stage. But now it's more like it's a chore almost. And I don't think that he's going to win. Like, I don't think that he's going to be able to beat out Mackenzie, LaPortia, and Trent. Like, I really don't, unless he, you know, really, really turns it out. And I don't think that he's going to be able to do that. I like the dramatics. I just need his energy and his vocals to match the dramatic backdrop that he is always given, because it's always amazing and it's always dramatic, but he needs to up the ante. So that's kind of how I feel. Like, I would like to see Dalton go home, but I don't think that he will. I think it will be Sonica, but I'm not going to be mad if Sonica goes home. I won't be mad. I do root for her though. I always root for her. I hope that she's able to sing both of her songs. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that since there's no more saves left, that they should let everybody sing both of their songs, especially now since this week's theme, it's not only the Sia songbook, but it's also classic rock. So it's 2 themes, and what we've been waiting for a long time, they're finally starting studio recordings. So they not the iTunes studio recordings. So they're just now starting in top 5, which it never takes them this long to do it. Apparently budget cuts and this and that and the third. I mean, like, you could have cut off a little bit of like J-Lo's, like, you could have took like $500,000 of what you pay J-Lo to start the iTunes recordings at top 10. Like, J-Lo gets paid like $16 million for the season. Like, really? And in budget cuts. And then there's no tour, not that I've heard of. I don't know what the deal is with that. But I absolutely wish there would have been some studio versions of some things that Avalon did. But I keep on talking about Avalon. Can you tell I like Avalon? Yeah, okay. So, but the iTunes studio recordings starting with this theme week. And it'll be interesting to hear how these contestants, you know, sound on a recording, because it's one thing which you can do live, and, you know, the studio versions, it's a different thing recording in the studio. And I think that even if they weren't going to release studio recordings, which I think that they should, regardless of budget or whatever the case may be, I think that the entire top 10 should have gotten that experience. That's a very important aspect of being in the music industry. And I think that everybody that was in the top 10, like usual, should have gotten that opportunity to record in the studio. That's just my personal opinion. Also, Adam Lambert, he performed this week, and he performed his iconic Mad World, and then he also sang one of his original songs. So I'm probably going to be like, have an unpopular opinion about this. As much as I love Adam Lambert, and he can sing, and I think that he sounded amazing actually on his second song. Like, listening to his Mad World, like, you know, in 2009 when it happened in this, I'm actually not that crazy about it. And I've heard a couple of his performances, and I think that I prefer like Tracks of My Tears and that duet that he did with Allison Irahita on Idol versus Mad World. And I know that that's unpopular, and I know that people are going to be like, oh my gosh, Mad World was like the ish. But there is a girl that's on The Voice this season named Kristen Marie who sang Mad World, and I'm sorry, but I think her version is better than Adam's. I love Adam, but I think her version is better. So you be the judge of that. And that's it. It's only 5 people left. And then American Idol is over on April 7th. We getting down to the wire, people. They just zoom into the finish line with this. Oh, and also the Idols performed God Bless America at a NASCAR event. I did see the video. I thought the performance was kind of like boring because most of it they did in unison. It was like a couple of parts that were harmony that sounded very nice, but it was kind of boring. Like, they didn't try to really, like, you know, jazz it up. And I'm not saying it has to be jazzed up or whatever, but I wanted it to kind of be harmonies like all throughout, or like people have a solo part here, but maybe they just didn't have time to do all of that. Like, I get it. But when you're an artist in this business, you're like singing all the time, sing with other people, and you got to make things work. So at the end of the day, it was fine. You know, you can check that out on mjsbigblog.com if you want to see the Idols perform God Bless America. And until next week, or I guess later on this week when I recap The Voice, because the battles are coming on tonight. So stay tuned for my next recap of The Voice and my next recap of Idol. Remember, there's only like 2 weeks left of Idol, right? So it's kind of sad. I felt like J-Lo. I think I'm going to cry. But I'm not going to cry. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.